Hello everyone, my name is Maddie Flowers and I'm Miss Fort Lauderdale's Outstanding Teen 2020. Throughout the month of November, I'll be hosting a series of educational videos highlighting the trailblazers in the pancreatic cancer awareness community. Today I'm super honored to have a very special guest here. I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself and Project Purple.
Thanks, Madison. My name's Dino Varelli. I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purple. We're one of the country's leading nonprofit organizations for pancreatic cancer. And so we've actually just turned 10. We just had a recent anniversary. I started Project Purple in 2010 after my dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in late 2008. And we've been literally running figuratively and literally since 2010. We started as a running-based charity, but that quickly evolved to many other things, non-running related. But that just gives you a quick introduction and background on Project Purple and myself.
So you've been working and I guess hosting Project Purple for 10 years now. That's a long time. What has been your biggest accomplishment thus far with Project Purple as an organization?
Oh, that's a great question. And it's a hard question, Madison. I think, we're all in this COVID pandemic. And, I used to travel probably about 26 weeks a year for the last 5 years. And then the pandemic hit and, travel kind of stopped and everything kind of was gone virtual and canceled or postponed. So I've had a lot of time to reflect during this time. And, to pick one achievement, I mean, I guess if there's going to be one thing to this point today, is just our work in the early detection space. 2 years ago, we were able to fund the start of a consortium, which at the time didn't really have a name, which is now called the Pre-Seed Consortium, which has become a 35 center, 7 countries, or 35 centers in 7 countries around the world, with a goal of finding an early detection test and protocol for pancreatic cancer. So that originally started with a gift of 1.25 million. We've added some funds on top of that with some ancillary side projects that are within Pre-Seed. So to answer your question, what's the biggest accomplishment? I think if you had to pick one, I would go there because one, it was our biggest gift at the time. And then two, to see the magnitude of what that has become to this point is pretty special.
And early detection is so crucial, lowering death rates. That's amazing.
It's critical. It's really the key to changing this narrative of why this disease is so bad.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So what has been the biggest struggle that you guys have faced because of coronavirus?
Oof. The biggest struggle, I think in terms of what we can control, because there's things that are outside our control that we can't worry about, Madison. And I think, clearly, I think the biggest struggle is not having the ability to connect with people physically. And, I think that's probably the case for so many charities worldwide where, people thrive on connectivity and connecting and being together with people and socializing. You think about social media and what that was all about, and how that grew and these charities, and our charity was about running and getting together and celebrating and being with people. I think that's been really a challenge for us. Virtual is the new normal, but it's really different. And it's hard to make those connections. And for someone like myself, like I said, I used to travel a ton and I would go to various events. I would be in various states to help promote and build our brand with folks in local communities. It's been a really struggle. It's been a big struggle to do it virtually. So I would have to say the biggest challenge has been that is just not having that physical interaction with people and families. And, there's strength in numbers, in anything that you do. And I think that's been really difficult in this virtual reality.
Yes, for sure. And then I just have one last question for you here today. So what are you hoping to achieve this upcoming year?
So going into 2021?
Yeah. Going into 2021, what are your goals?
It's so hard to answer that question, Madison, because given, I mean,
Hmm.
so much can change. And I
Yeah.
think the one consistent, though, that I will say is, we are still hoping to continue to help families. We are one of the leading providers in the country for patient financial aid. So anyone who's battling pancreatic cancer can reach out to us for a financial aid grant. And
Hmm.
that program has changed a bit just because of funding, because of what's happened with COVID. But we're still helping patients, we're still supporting them. And so we're going to continue to do that. And then the other part is, to continue to fund research. So I think two of the consistent goals that have always been part of our goals, but clearly with everything that's happened have become more important, is just to stay consistent with funding research, and for us, it's been that early detection with Precede. And then the second part is really being there for the patients during this time, because it's really super critical. I mean, as you know, there's so many, and as people are watching this, there's so many issues in the world. And I think, everyone kind of pausing for 2 weeks or for as long as we've paused has kind of amplified a lot of these issues. A lot of them deserve the attention they're getting. But, cancer is something that just hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
And, we're working with one of the most underfunded cancers in the country, if not the most underfunded cancer, but it's actually one of the most lethal cancers.
Yeah.
So it has a very interesting relation where it has little funding, but it also has such adverse impacts to families that are touched by it. And there's a correlation why that happens, right? There's just not enough funding to do the research. So that's why it's so bad,
Hmm.
and so lethal. And so, we've got to continue to push, and continue to remind people. And that's why things like this, Madison, hopefully the listeners that watch this will understand, how severe the cancer is, and how, we need support, we need awareness, we need people to be aware of it. So we will continue to focus on those two goals of early detection and also patient financial aid.
Hmm. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Best of luck. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
Thank you.